On the afternoon of July 13, 2022, a chilling series of events unfolded that would lead to the brutal murder of 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson in Tamarac, Florida. What seemed like an ordinary day would soon turn into a nightmare, forever altering the lives of everyone involved.
23-year-old Kayla Hodgson was found dead in an apartment in Tamarac.
The Broward County Sheriff's Office's mobile command center is still here on the scene as investigators continue processing evidence here. And now the Sheriff's Office is officially calling this a murder investigation.
Kayla was a hardworking young woman, juggling two demanding jobs, working as a flight attendant and a bartender for special events. She was well loved by her family, friends, and colleagues, known for her radiant personality and infectious energy. Even after long hours of work, she remained the life of every party, always spreading joy to those around her. She had big dreams of traveling the world and living life to the fullest. But just days before the tragedy, Kayla's fate took a dark turn. While in Miami, she met a man named Terry Dean, and from the moment they connected, sparks flew. For Kayla, it felt like the beginning of something magical. A love story full of excitement and possibilities. She allowed herself to fall, believing in the romance Terry was offering. But what she didn't know was that behind his charming words and affectionate gestures, Terry was hiding a dangerous secret, one that would ultimately cost Kayla her life. Unbeknownst to Kayla, Terry was already in a serious relationship with another woman, a woman who had been watching closely from the shadows. That woman was 28-year-old Sakina Thompson, a nail technician from Long Island, New York. Sakina was well known in her field, admired for her skills in nail artistry. But outside of work, she had a fiery personality, one that did not tolerate betrayal. On social media, she often boasted about her ability to fight, making it clear that she was not someone to be messed with. When Sakina discovered that Terry had been seeing another woman, she was consumed by rage. She meticulously tracked Terry's whereabouts, and once she confirmed Kayla's identity, she made a chilling decision, one that would seal Kayla's fate. On July 13, 2022, Sakina purchased a plane ticket from New York to Florida with one goal in mind: to eliminate the woman who had come between her and Terry. Just hours later, at 3 p.m., a horrifying 911 call sent Broward County deputies rushing to the Tamarac Village apartments on Northwest 57th Street. What they found inside was a gruesome crime scene. Kayla Hodgson's lifeless body lay there, a tragic end to a love story that had barely begun. In the days that followed, law enforcement launched an intensive investigation, quickly piecing together the events that led to the murder. Their search led them to Sakina Thompson, who had fled back to New York, thinking she had escaped justice. Kayla Hodgson's story is one of love, betrayal, and a deadly obsession. What started as a chance encounter ended in unimaginable tragedy, a young woman's dreams shattered by the jealous rage of another. At first glance, Sakina Thompson appeared to be a confident, independent woman. A talented nail technician from Long Island, she had built a strong reputation for her skills. But behind the surface, there was another side to her, one driven by jealousy, obsession, and a dangerous need for control. Her relationship with Terry Dean was well documented on social media. She frequently posted about their romance, from birthday celebrations and lavish gifts to intimate moments. To the outside world, they seemed like a couple deeply in love. But those who followed Sakina closely saw a different reality. Her posts didn't just showcase the highs of their relationship, they also revealed the ugly, toxic side. Heated arguments, cryptic messages about betrayal, and veiled threats filled her timeline. Their love was intense but volatile. No matter how bad things got, they always found their way back to each other. And to Sakina, Terry belonged to her, no one else. But while she was busy guarding her relationship, something had already begun to unravel behind her back, something that would lead to a tragic, irreversible ending. It was during a trip to Miami, a getaway filled with fun, parties, and late-night adventures when Kayla Hodgson first crossed paths with Terry Dean. For 23-year-old Kayla, this was just another thrilling experience in her young, exciting life. By the way, we post true crime stories and strange cases. If this interests you, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot and helps us continue sharing this content. What she didn't know was that meeting Terry that night would change everything. But there was a catch. Terry didn't come to Miami alone. Unbeknownst to Kayla, this wasn't just a solo trip for Terry. He had actually traveled with his girlfriend, Sakina. What was supposed to be a romantic vacation for the couple turned into an act of betrayal, one that would set off a catastrophic chain of events. Somewhere along the way, Sakina discovered what was happening. She learned about Kayla, the woman Terry had been secretly seeing. And in that moment, something inside her snapped. This wasn't just anger, it was an obsession. A woman like Sakina didn't just let things slide. She was strong-willed, fiercely possessive, and unwilling to tolerate betrayal. For her, Terry was hers and hers alone. And in her mind, there was only one solution. Kayla had to be erased from the picture. Fueled by rage, Sakina didn't act recklessly. Instead, she carefully plotted her revenge. She wasn't just going to confront Kayla, she was going to eliminate her. Her first step? Tracking Terry's every move. Using a GPS tracking device, she secretly monitored the white Range Rover he was driving. Every location, every movement, every stop, she had all the information she needed. And most importantly, she now had the address of the woman she believed had stolen her man. On July 13, 2022, Kayla and Terry were inside her apartment at the Tamarac Village Apartments in Florida. The two were spending time together, completely unaware of the storm that was about to hit. That afternoon, Terry left the building. And the moment he walked away, Sakina made her move. She entered the apartment complex and walked the hallways until she found the door where Kayla was staying. Then a fight erupted. In a viral video, Sakina can be seen gripping a shoe, aiming at Kayla, who frantically opens and closes the door in a desperate attempt to keep her out. But this was only the beginning. What happened next was far worse than anyone could have imagined. At 3 p.m., the Broward Sheriff's Office received a chilling 911 call. A witness reported seeing a woman with a severe gash on her neck.
It says that there's a gash on the patient's neck. It looks like someone slashed her neck.
Officers rushed to the scene, their sirens piercing through the afternoon air. But by the time they arrived, it was too late. Inside Kayla's apartment, they found a horrific crime scene. Lying lifeless on the floor was 23-year-old Kayla Hodgson, a young woman whose only crime was trusting the wrong person.
23-year-old Kayla Hodgson was found dead in an apartment in Tamarac about a week ago.
From the very beginning, it was clear that Kayla's death wasn't just a random act of violence. The sheer brutality of the crime pointed to something far more personal. This wasn't an accident or a robbery gone wrong. This was intentional. The way Kayla was killed suggested deep, calculated rage. But at first, nobody knew who could have committed such a horrific act. That was until investigators uncovered a crucial clue, a discovery that changed the entire course of the case. As the police searched for leads, they turned to the public for help. They needed any information that could identify the killer. Tips started coming in, but none of them brought authorities closer to the truth. For weeks, the case stalled. The community mourned Kayla's tragic death, desperate for answers. Who could have done this? And why? Then everything changed. One critical lead pointed to a name that had already disappeared from the crime scene. That name? Sakina Thompson. At first, her connection to Kayla's murder was unclear. She had no previous criminal record, no history of violence. She wasn't a known offender, nor did she seem like someone capable of such brutality. But when police pieced together the timeline of events, it became chillingly clear. Investigators soon uncovered how Sakina had been tracking her boyfriend, Terry Thien. She had secretly placed a GPS tracking device on his white Range Rover, monitoring his every move. That tracker led her straight to Kayla's apartment. She waited, watching, until the perfect moment. And then she struck. Sakina allegedly attacked Kayla with a blunt object, beating her until she collapsed. But she wasn't finished. Overcome with pure, obsessive rage, she slashed Kayla's throat from ear to ear. It was a gruesome, final act of control. Kayla would never speak to Terry again. Just like that, her future was stolen. But what Sakina did next made the case even more disturbing. Instead of running in fear or showing any remorse, Sakina didn't even hesitate. After committing the horrific act, she went straight back to Terry. And then, as if nothing had happened, they both boarded a flight back to New York. But no matter how far she tried to run, she couldn't escape what she had done. With mounting evidence and the case coming into sharp focus, authorities finally made their move. On July 25, 2022, nearly 2 weeks after the murder, an arrest warrant was officially issued for Sakina Thompson. Then, on August 3, 2023, she was arrested without bond by the New York Police Department in Springfield Gardens, New York. This meant she would remain in custody until her trial. There would be no chance for bail.
New details tonight on an arrest in New York City. This after a young woman was killed last month inside her apartment in Tamarac. The Broward Sheriff's Office announced that the suspect, Sakina Thompson, is now in custody.
Shortly after, she was extradited back to Broward County, Florida, where she would face the charge of first-degree murder. A grand jury indictment stated that Sakina acted with a depraved mind, showing no regard for human life. But even with her arrest, one mystery still lingers. To this day, the police have never publicly revealed the exact evidence that led them to her. With Sakina Thompson now behind bars, the fight for justice had officially begun. But just when it seemed like the case was heading toward a resolution, an unexpected twist emerged, one that complicated the legal proceedings in ways no one had anticipated.
An arrest affidavit says Sakina Thompson was demonstrating a depraved mind without regard for human life by stabbing with a sharp object with a premeditated intent to cause death.
I am very happy to hear about it because we were scared. We heard different stories from different people, and I happen to live on the floor above her, so I'm very happy. It makes me feel a lot better and more secure that they finally arrested somebody.
At the time of her arrest, Sakina was already pregnant. The revelation sent shockwaves through the courtroom and the public alike. Suddenly, a new debate surfaced. Would her pregnancy influence her sentencing? Could carrying a child earn her any form of leniency? As reality set in, Sakina became desperate. She wasn't just facing prison, she was facing the terrifying prospect of giving birth behind bars. Determined to avoid that fate, she wrote a deeply emotional letter to the judge overseeing her case, pleading for mercy. She begged for a second chance, arguing that her unborn child deserved a life outside the walls of a prison. But the court remained unmoved. Despite her heartfelt appeal, her request for release was denied. And so, on February 17, 2023, while still incarcerated, Sakina gave birth to her child. However, the court quickly determined that she would not be the one to raise the baby. Instead, full custody was awarded to Terry Thompson, the man at the center of the deadly love triangle that led to this tragedy. Meanwhile, Sakina remained behind bars awaiting trial. As of now, her fate remains uncertain. The legal battle is ongoing, and the final decision on her punishment for the murder of Kayla has yet to be made. While the justice system moved at its usual slow pace, Kayla's family and friends were left grappling with an unimaginable loss. Her death left an irreplaceable void in their lives. She was more than just a daughter, a friend, or a colleague. She was a vibrant soul taken far too soon. Grief-stricken and seeking solace, many turned to social media to express their sorrow. Heartfelt tributes, cherished memories, and emotional messages poured in from all over. But alongside the mourning, there was outrage. People across the country flooded comment sections with demands for justice, their anger directed at Sakina. They wanted accountability. They wanted to make sure Kayla's death wasn't in vain. Beyond the emotional devastation, Kayla's sudden passing placed an unexpected financial burden on her family. To cover the costs of her funeral, her loved ones launched a GoFundMe campaign. The response was overwhelming. Within a short time, over $115,000 was raised. The generosity of strangers ensured that Kayla's family wouldn't have to worry about the expenses of laying her to rest. But no amount of money could erase the pain of losing her. To honor Kayla's memory, her family and friends came together for a special tribute. They organized a balloon release, sending colorful balloons soaring into the sky, a symbol of love, remembrance, and grief. As they watched them disappear into the clouds, one question remained unanswered. Would justice truly be served? What do you think? Do you believe Sakina Thompson will get the punishment she deserves? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Please subscribe to the channel to stay updated about the future upload. Thank you for watching another video of Truth in Crimes. Share your thoughts about this heartbreaking case in the comments below. We value your input. We dedicate ourselves to delivering accurate and compelling true crime stories using information from reliable sources. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you soon with another captivating story.